Hello everybody, this is Gareth Cahoon Speaks back here with another video. I'd like you to hit the subscribe bar, give me a thumbs up if you like the video, or hit the notification bell to be notified when I post my next post. Or otherwise you could donate to my ministry and the charities that I support at garethcahoon3@gmail.com. Or otherwise you could look me up on my social media accounts like Facebook, Instagram, X, uh, YouTube, TikTok, Truth Social, Getter, Blue Sky, and others. But especially the YouTube account where you'll be able to see my created playlist and the videos that get banned on other social media sites. This one here is about America. Beware of the Islamists in your backyard. Becoming an American citizen 10 years ago was one of the most exciting and proud days of my life. It was not simply because I had fled Iran, the country of my birth, where after becoming a Christian in 1999, I was arrested and sentenced to death for the crime of apostasy. Indeed, the ability to live as a Christian without daily fears of arrest or persecution, much less torture and death, was life changing. I was also able to vote in a free and democratic election for the first time in my life. It's impossible for most Americans to imagine not having the freedoms so cherished for us all, and for which Iranians are struggling and dying in order to give their freedoms from the to gain their freedoms from the oppression of their Islamic Republic of Iran. And being so foreign and unimaginable for me just years earlier as I sat on death row in Tehran's notorious Evin prison. Often, as an American who was able to flee tyranny, I feel that I cherish America's freedoms more than those who were born here and take them for granted. I understand more than most who lack what the lack of freedom looks like in an entire country and for the citizens living under the oppression of Islamic Sharia law. I don't dismiss the things that are taking points of American elections, not at all, but for so many Americans living with the freedoms that we have, far too many do not appreciate what they mean. When it comes to women's rights, of course, I stand for that in America, in the American way of thinking. But sometimes I shake my head because I know what it's really like to live in a society in which misogyny and subjugation of women is in the DNA. I know what it's like to see women manipulated to become sex workers under the guise of a perverse and institutionally sanctioned Islamic formula of temporary marriage. I know what it's like to fear before being beaten or abused because of not wearing a mandatory hijab properly, or to wear makeup, pluck one's eyebrows, or have nail polish. I know what it's like to see women bruised, tortured, their faces deliberately disfigured, and teeth knocked out because in Islam a woman's life is only worth half of that of a man. I know what women face daily by way of sexual harassment, assault, and rape both in prison and on the streets. I know what I know that the Islamists are so evil that even before expecting women, executing women on a variety of trumped up charges, like my best friend Sharon Al Humi Amluhuli, as I would have been had God not spared me. They rape virgin women and girls to prevent them from going to heaven. No matter how many times you read that sentence, it will never be normal, humane, or tolerable in any way. I even know what it's like for a brother to tell me after I become a Christian, an Islamic cleric told him to kill me for shaming the family and insulting Islam, and that he would be protected from any legal repercussions. All these and many other ways women suffer in Iran and under Islam generally are due to the evils of Sharia law that imposes itself on women and any non Muslim in countless ways. As a grateful and proud American, I weep as I see a trend happening in the United States that echoes the naive ignorance that paved the way for the rise of Islamists in the country of my birth, more than the ignorance of those who protested to bring down the Shah. Often, what's known as the Red Green Alliance of Marxists and Communists collaborating with the Islamists. Americans are actually electing the Islamists through democratic voting that has been hijacked. When I see Abdul El Said as the Democratic candidate for the Senator of Michigan, I see the interrogators and judges I faced and argued with. They repeatedly tried to entrap me and convince me to reject and renounce my faith in the Messiah, Yeshua Jesus, claiming that I would be forgiven and set free. But I knew the truth that there was no compromise with these evil people, and no matter what I did, they would still execute me. When I see Ilhan Omar, who manipulates American freedom to impose radical Islam in Congress and become rich in schemes that she and her husband, brother, are alleged to have concocted, I see the hijab covered women of the Iranian Revolution era who, with the stupidity and self righteous adherence to Islam, ushered in a society that made them worth only half of their brothers and husbands. When I see Iranian American Yasmin Ansari serving in Congress representing Arizona's 3rd District, I see the fake reformists within Islam, Iranian society, and those who have been exported by the Islamic regime to order to infiltrate Western society. She makes her handlers at NIAC happy, but turns the stomach of average Iranians who want to see freedom from everything she represents. When I see Adam Hamaway in New Jersey, I see the professionals of Iran who colluded with the Islamic regime to protect themselves and their livelihoods, empowering and enabling the Ayatollahs out of fear of or their own conversion to radical Islam. How an Islamist who was an aide to the blind sheikh associated with the World Trade Center bombing could stand for Congress in a district just 50 miles from the Islamists from where the Islamists brought down the World Trade Center 25 years ago is unthinkable. How can Americans be so blind? When I see Kahazi Asmea, a lieutenant governor of Virginia, I see the slavery that has been imposed by Islam over much of the non-Arab world, including the country of her birth. By the steady and deliberate Islamic conquest, Islamists will conquer city by city and state by state through violent jihad where necessary, or order the stealth manipulation of freedom in the country that they are trying to conquer. When I see Zoran Mandani, an unapologetic Islamist extremist, as mayor of America's largest city and financial capital, I see the radical Mahmoud Ahmadinejad, who served as mayor of Tehran before becoming president of Iran, under whom I experienced and witnessed the regime's savage brutality while in prison. God help us if this is not the beginning and final stop of Mandani's political career. Come back for part 2 of this post in the next video. Shalom, Maranatha, and Hallelujah.